Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just wanted to bring something to everybody's attention. With the technology moving as it is, the Deen has always utilized technology. So I've been in technology since the 1990s. My background is in IT, so I was right there at the start of the internet, and then widespread use of it. In the 90s, there wasn't many people who had the internet, and there weren't many people who had email addresses, and many people didn't know what websites were. And those of you who know my background know that I set up one of the very earliest Muslim websites, along with a couple of others, servicing the traditional Islam demographic. So Islam has always utilized available technology for the purposes of dawah, for the purposes of learning, and for the purposes of teaching. So what I wanted to do is actually put a warning out there. I think with the prevalence of AI and more apps available that help you with your deen, there's an opportunity here for nefarious forces to subvert our deen through technology. So recently I saw a Muslim influencer promoting an app called Deen Buddy. It's an AI assistant, and you can ask it questions and it will give you answers. You can, for example, the question was asked about hijab, and it gave an answer. Now, whilst it may provide accurate answers, we don't know who's behind it. So I went onto the app's website to find out any information, who the people are behind it, who's financing it, who the directors are, and which ulama that they use. They just said that they use authentic sources, but there's no indication as to who the team is, what their backgrounds are, and which ulama that they actually rely on for their deen and their guidance. So I further dug into it, and the company behind it is called Zamzam Technologies LLC. So I went to the Zamzam Technologies website, and again, absolutely no information as to who they are. Now this does ring alarm bells. It could be just an oversight on the part of the people putting these apps together. But I have to stress, it's really, really important. If you do not know who is behind the apps and websites that help you with your deen, you've got to avoid them at all costs. Ibn Sirin said via Imam Muslim, "This knowledge is a religion, so consider from whom you receive your religion." So that's kind of a warning, is that you've got to know where you're taking your deen from, your rulings from, and your guidance from. So don't rely on guidance of the deen from anonymous sources, because there are agendas at play, and subversion is a part of the game and strategy against us, against the Muslims. So anyone, again, this is a advice to anyone providing any kind of service to Muslims, particularly when it comes to our deen, our religion, must be entirely transparent. Who are you? Who are your finances? Who are the ulama that you rely on? Our deen is one of sanad, a continuous, unbroken chain of transmission and scholarship and learning. So it's one of the mechanisms by which our deen and our texts and our learning has been preserved through the ages. And technology, it has its uses, but it can also break this chain if we are not diligent. So please share this awareness. Now, whilst I couldn't find the information on this group, they may be entirely honourable people behind this venture, and I would fully support them, but we need to know who you are. So if anybody from these two companies, if they come across this video somehow, please update your websites, give us full transparency on who you are, who finances you, who the ulama that you rely on are. I don't think it's enough to say that we use authentic sources, because authentic sources could be used for nefarious purposes as well. So Jazakallah khair for listening. Please share, so it just raises an awareness and just a little bit of diligence on the part of those of us who are using this technology to make sure that our deen and iman remains intact. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.